What's up, Ashton? How you doing, man? So I'm going to take you through today and kind of explain what the stride should look like, okay? So when you first came to me for your sessions, we were kind of pushing and going into that front side heavy, right? So that looks a lot better, right? But now what we're doing is we're almost staying back too much, right? So we're kind of quote unquote hanging back is what I call it. So we're loading on time and then we're just kind of hanging back on that back foot, okay? So with anything, it's all about balance. We don't want to push forward into the front foot. We don't want to hang back and just kind of sit there, right? And we're going to be unstable in both those positions and not be able to rotate the way we want. So when we stride, what we want to do is we want to stretch kind of our front leg, our front knee, our hips forward while we keep our head and our torso a little more back. Both will go forward a little bit, but the legs, the front leg, will stretch forward a lot more than the head will, okay? So my head will say move like an inch or two or three, somewhere in that realm. My hips and my front leg will stretch forward a lot more as I go, okay? So when I do that, when I understand that, the legs stretch forward, okay? The head and torso try to stay back kind of on that back hip. Now, in order to do that, we have to understand we're stretching a couple things from each other. Okay, so I'm going to stretch my front leg from my back leg initially. So when I stride out there, I have to maintain my heel anchor. Okay, so I'm going to stride out there and stretch a good amount. The general rule of thumb is if I can put my bat in between my legs, then I'm in a good spot, roughly. Okay, now I'm also going to stretch my front leg from my right shoulder, my back shoulder, and my hands. So as I stride out there, I'm going to stretch left foot, front foot from my back shoulder and my hands. Okay. Now, the stretch still goes into our rotation a little bit. Okay. So when I stride out there, I just strided really well. Okay, I stretched forward, I was anchored forward a little bit. I've stretched my front foot from my back shoulder. Now I need to stretch my front hip from my back shoulder as I go into rotation. Okay, so I'm going to rotate that front hip open as far as I can, keeping this shoulder back. Okay, so understand all of those. I want you to watch this video 2 or 3 times and understand that when we stride, we got to stretch our front leg from our back shoulder, our front leg from our back heel, and then when we rotate, we have to stretch our front hip from our back shoulder. Okay? So I'm going to send you a couple of drills to do to work on that, and it's really going to be one main drill to work on that on top of the drills that you already have.